right, giving this guy a try. And we're live. So let's see how they go. All right, I'm gonna go get a tripod real quick. Gonna try to use this guy to boost it up. Should have probably done this before starting the stream, but yeah, it is what it is. Alrighty. Getting my fat fingers on the screen, obviously. Alright, let's see how this goes. Hang on a second. Alright, almost there. There we go. Voila. Little setup for streaming. Giving streaming a try. It's the first time I'm doing this. Not sure if there is a whole lot of interest, but I was kind of bored working on my next video, so decided to show you guys what I was up to. And yeah, seems to be working fine. Move this out of the way. I was taking a picture for social media, so I was like, well, might as well try to show everyone the actual process of making a video. All right. But I'm just developing the software for now, so nothing too exciting for using a YDLIDAR to work with a Raspberry Pi and try to get a point cloud plot on a browser using JavaScript. And yeah, gotta figure out how the chat feature works. Gotta move my phone a little. Try to post any questions you guys have. All right, let's see. All right. Cool. All right, well, if anybody has questions, by all means, feel free to post them. I'm gonna leave this here and try to work my way through using this LIDAR with a Raspberry Pi 4 so I can record a video and post it a little later or probably tomorrow. All right, set that away. So, gotta move my phone again, see what you guys are saying. All right, reactor. We got our first question. So the chat feature is working. Thing is, I have this stupid I have this stupid tripod, and to get my phone in, I can really reply to the messages or see them. But I'm going to open the YouTube app on my laptop and try to do it like that. But let's see. How is the heat dissipation on the Raspberry Pi 4? I haven't really tested it. I've read that, it does get pretty hot after a couple of hours of usage, depending on the usage you give it. If you're just browsing the internet, checking email, doing all that kind of stuff, it's okay from what I've read. But if you do anything mildly intensive, it does get a little bit hot. It can be solved with just using a heatsink on both the GPU and the main SoC. But again, I wish I would have one of those flare heat cameras to do some testing of my own. But for now, I don't have it inside a case, so it's actually fine. I check the temperatures every now and again, and nothing alarming. But again, I don't do anything too computationally intensive. So far so good. If you do something mildly computationally intensive, use a heatsink, and anything beyond that, use a fan, and it should be okay. And connecting a fan is pretty straightforward. So hope that answers the question. I'm gonna put this thing back in and open the chat on the computer, so I don't have to keep moving the phone in and out of the little tripod thing. No worries. Thank you for the question, and sorry for all the technical difficulties. It's the first time I'm doing a stream, so hoping I get a little better over time. Put this guy up. I love the stickers. Do a giveaway one of these days. But just, people sometimes steal the content of the channel, so at least there is an image to sort of give the information to where it was made. Let me try to open the chat on my laptop, which is right here, and see if I can, work this out a little better. Go to my channel. All right, so I'll open that video. All right, cool. So I'll open that video. Get a little feedback, but I'll just shush the microphone from my laptop. Hopefully that gets rid of the feedback. Sorry. All right. So minimum input volume on the mic. I can't really shut down the mic, which is annoying. So there is a little bit of feedback. Let me try a piece of tape. Come on, this is annoying as all hell. Nope, that is not better. Alright, muting this output. I think you guys can still hear me, but alright. Have to do a little bit of research on how to freaking, deal with the audio But for now, I can at least answer the messages here on the chat. Let's see. Move my coffee out of the way. All right. So we're good. Let's see. Okay. Thank you for the patience. Can somebody post a message if you can hear me okay? Oh, awesome. Thank you, Reactor. So would a Pi 0W work with the LIDAR as well? I have a Pi 0W here, and I'll give it a try. It should be okay. It just uses USB 2.0 connection, so and it's not terribly computationally intensive for the interface. So I want to give it a try, but for now I'm just using the Raspberry Pi 4. And then, will there be data visualization with LiDAR? Yes, there will be, Sergey. And what's interesting is I gotta figure this out so I can show you what I'm actually looking at on my laptop in addition to the video. Kind of do like a picture-in-picture kind of thing. I promise for the next stream I'll get that figured out. But I was looking at libraries for LiDAR online, and there are some that use something like matplotlib to visualize the data. And that's great, but it's a little bit too heavy to use something like that just for visualizing. And I was kind of hoping I could find something that was browser-based, just using something like 3DS. If you're familiar with those JavaScript libraries for visualizing stuff. For now, it'll be super cheap the way I'm gonna show you what I have on my laptop. But like I said, what is it? Plot library JavaScript. But next time I'll have a picture-in-picture with an actual screen capture of what I'm looking at on the laptop. So what? All right. So it's called Plotly, but so D3, right, is the name of the library. D3 JavaScript. D3JS. Yeah. All right. So I was hoping that there was something already made where we can visualize point clouds using D3JS, but I found nothing that was easy to use. A lot of people just go on use ROS. If you're familiar, yeah, Chart.js is another option. I'm familiar with both, and I think 3D.js is more comprehensive. It's 2019. I'm sure you can do the same things with both libraries. And yeah, so I chose 3D.js, and it's just doing a photo plot with all the different points that are given by the LiDAR. But there was nothing that I could find that sort of, off the shelf. A lot of people use ROS, if you guys are familiar with the robotic operating system. And they just install ROS on the Raspberry Pi, and that comes with a bunch of packages that makes it easy to visualize the data and interface with the LiDAR. But again, it's just too much. I just want a simple Python script that I can run and visualize it, and even I don't need to hook it up to a monitor, and I can access it via the browser without having the Pi connected to a monitor. So that's what I'm hoping. And I found a good library for it. I'll show you guys in a sec. I just reflash an image on the SD card just to start from scratch, and again preparing for the video. So I'll go ahead and eject that guy and put it into the Pi. All right, So, you know, just flash this image, put it into the Pi 4, and just go ahead and turn it on. And you know, for the LiDAR, this is the YDLIDAR X4. It's about 90 bucks. You know, you can even find it on Amazon for those of you in the US. On AliExpress, it's the same price. It just takes a little longer, but it's more convenient for people outside the US. And it's, you know, it's just this typical LiDAR with a rubber band, and you know, it's inexpensive, so the resolution is not great, but it's good enough for what we want to do. It comes with this driver board, which you can substitute by your own. It does come with an additional wire that I have somewhere around here, so that you can break it out and hook it up to your own driver board. But this one works just fine. It just needs a USB power supply that I just stole to flash the SD card before, and then a data USB connection that I have hooked up to the Pi. Then you'll see more info in the video, but I have it, I found a library that is just a straight up Python library. I'm pretty sure the person just ported it out of the Rust package. Node, it depends. I mean, I know you can sort of do a Node wrapper over Python, right? Just have a Python-based driver and have Node interact with that driver, right? Have Node handle all the web components that you need, and just have Python driving the hardware. So you can do a sort of a hybrid solution, but I haven't seen if there's a JavaScript-based driver, you know, JavaScript/C based driver straight up for Node.js for the YDLIDAR. This is the first day I'm using it. So I just went for Python because if you've seen my videos, they cater for people who are getting started, and usually Python is more popular for that segment of the audience. So I've only looked at Python. I'd be interested to know if there's a Node solution. So when I post my video, if you found one, then by all means post a comment, and I might do a video on it. Or when I have time, I'll just like do the research myself. So let's see. I booted the Pi. I'll SSH into it, and I'll just show you the. I'm an idiot. I didn't. So if you saw my last video, right? Hopefully this doesn't corrupt the image. You need to create a couple of files so that on first boot it connects to Wi-Fi, and it, you know, by default SSH is disabled. So we need to create a second file so that SSH is enabled on first boot. This is a brand new image, that's why. So I'll go ahead and connect it back to my laptop, and you know, change. I really gotta figure out this fucking how to give you guys an actual stream of what I'm seeing on my screen, but I'm just creating a couple of files real quick on the boot partition of the SD card. So just one that's called SSH, that'll enable SSH. And then I'll do the WPA supplicant, which I conveniently, since I always forget to do this, I just have a file on my downloads folder with the, 7 lines of code that are needed with my network ID and, the three lines for configuring. So now I can actually go ahead and eject it again. Eject hard disk 2. Volume failed to eject. Nice. Oh, because I'm in that directory. Change out of it, and I can actually eject it. All right, let's do this. All right, second attempt. Booting the Pi, and it'll actually connect to my network so that I can SSH into it. And I won't forget to give power to the LIDAR. All right. See if you guys have any questions. Yeah, I know. Thank you. I almost forgot. I forgot both of them, but yeah. Now it's done. And let's see. SSH into it, and I gotta delete the old entry on my host files because it's a new image. Known host, go to the IP address. Man, all right, so far so good for the stream. This is my first stream, so everything is like, you know, not great. So, but I'm kind of enjoying it, so I'll set it up a little bit better and try to do it more often. Not try, but actually do it more often. Let's see. All right. SSH into it. Yes. All right, we're in. As usual, I'll just create a work directory and then a project directory that I'll just name LIDAR. Change into it, and then I'll just create a Py file. And I know a lot of people use Screen. I use Screen myself, but you know, I find the easiest way to test and write code is to just have two tabs, two SSH tabs running at the same time. So don't judge me for it. All right, so LIDAR, nice. All right, so the library I found somewhere in this gazillion tabs I have going. I was actually gonna do the stream on Twitch, but I never use Twitch, so I'll stay away from it for now. Let's see. So Python YDLIDAR. And the first one that pops up is for Python 3, this PyLiDAR 3. Same developer has one for Python 2, which I don't know, I still haven't made the switch to Python 3 completely. So again, don't judge me for it. And yeah. I find like every time I finally switch to Python 3 for a project, there is a stupid module that is only available for Python 2, and I hate doing, writing a wrapper for it. So anyway, I've been bitten a couple of times, so that's why I'm sticking with Python 2 until it's completely deprecated and everybody moves on to Python 3. All right, PyLiDAR 2, and I'll use go to a GitHub. So this is the developer. I can post the link somewhere if you guys are interested. Let me post it on the chat actually, in case you all are interested. Sergey, what is the radius of action? That is a very good question. One that I should know, surprisingly don't. And one that will be posted when I actually post a video, because that's relevant information. But let me first put the library here, then I'll look it up right now. I won't be lazy. X4 specs. Here's the data sheet. And product features. 10 meters. 10 meters is the range. 360 degrees, obviously. Motor speed is configurable between 6 hertz and 12 hertz, so you can get up to 12 times as many readings. I don't know what the angular resolution is, but you can get one measurement per spot in that angular resolution a minute. So 12 measurements a minute is pretty good. One a little under 10 milliseconds. And when I say 10, I mean 100, obviously. Let's see. So how many measurements, my question now is, how many measurements do we get in that 360 degree? So 10 meter range, and sample frequency, it's 5,000 samples per second. Scanning frequency, minimum, so you know the minimum distance, I think you asked the maximum. The minimum is 12 centimeters. Yeah. So not great for short distances, but up to 10 meters is pretty good. And in an indoor environment. So the angular resolution is half a degree. So, you know, for the whole 360, you would get 720 measurements, and you can do that apparently up to 12 times per second. So that's not bad. Again, LIDAR has come a long way in reducing cost. So pretty excited to give it a try, and hopefully one day mounted on a little robot. If you saw my last video, I was using this chassis, which, you know, with this little dinky DC gear motors wouldn't be great for something as heavy as this, and I would have to figure out the power supply, which also adds to the weight. So I would have to move on to a better platform, but again, you know, one thing at a time. So, all right, I'll go ahead and do a pip install of, I think it's just called YDLIDAR. Instead of YDLIDAR 2, I can just check on the, what's it called? GitHub repo, GitHub, YDLIDAR. I keep saying YP for Python for whatever reason, but YDLIDAR Python 2. So there is a driver written by the company that makes the LIDAR, but I am looking for, there was a guy, I'll just get his Python 3 one and go to the repo for Python 2, YDLIDAR. Alright, GitHub. I finally found it on my freaking history. This is why I should bookmark stuff, because I waste 5 minutes looking for code that I was playing with not 15 minutes ago. Alright, so it's actually called YDLIDAR 2. I'll do a pip install, that guy. And then just create a test. I already had created it in my other tab. A test.py file, and there is a couple of examples in the repository. Think, yeah, LIDAR test. So this is where I'm at right now. I can create a test file, run it, and it'll ask, got a typo. I can not run it because I have another typo. And the default test just asks you what the port is, which is, you know, TTY USB 0 typically. on Raspbian. So it spins. You know, again, I haven't done anything. Didn't need to configure an interface. It's all done over USB, so you don't need to modify a clean Raspbian install. And if, again, you know, if you could see this, the things that are printed on the screen are all the what should be 720 measurements. Just from looking at the numbers, it's JSON formatted data, and it seems that it's used one measurement per degree, so 360 instead of the whole 720. So, but that's up to the driver. I think it does it for 30 seconds and then it just stops. So pretty easy to, you know, get it going without doing anything, modifying anything on a clean install of Raspbian. But if we want to visualize this data, right, if I'm making a video for people who are getting started, I want to have a little polar plot, and that's where I'm at right now. And I'm gonna try to use, like I said, V3 or maybe chart for visualizing this data. So let's see how it goes. But I'm actually, yeah, the way I work, I get completely anal. Like if I'm gonna do something, I might as well do it right. And it was kind of funny. I just started streaming just because, as it turns out, I don't know if you've been on Reddit today. This is the full story. So I was on Reddit before. I was just chilling, having lunch, and they released a feature today where you can broadcast yourself, and I think it's called something like Reddit Public Access Network for Reddit or something of the sort. So I was on my phone and I started streaming me watching Netflix and having lunch, and it was kind of fun. So I was like, well, maybe I should give streaming a try, and that's how this whole idea came about. But I don't like half-assing stuff. So I want to figure out how to do a picture-in-picture so you guys can see this, and also what I'm doing on the computer. So I'm gonna figure that out and, you know, come back later today. Hopefully this was somewhat useful. I love answering questions, so this gives me a way of actually doing that. So thanks.